Hey everyone, it's Nancy here with T-Cell Logic. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today's case comes out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. I was recently in Green Bay, so I was able to visit some of the sites that this took place in, and I was able to take some video. I will have some of that footage in this video so you can get an idea of where it took place. So let's get right into it here. On September 24th, 1998, at about dusk, 13-year-old Zong Vang was riding his bike back home along Webster Avenue in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Zong's older brother Zhu had sent Zong to the grocery store to pick up some tomatoes for a meal that he was cooking for that evening. Alright guys, so we are here at the Century Foods. It is now called Super Value Foods, but this would have been the grocery store that Zong went to buy tomatoes, and then he would have gone that way, which is where the hospitals are. Zong was returning home on his bicycle carrying a bag full of tomatoes. So he would have taken his bike down this road, which is Webster Avenue. So he goes all the way down here. It's a nice neighborhood, it's safe. A lot of historic homes. Here's Eliza Street. Now, from what I understand, he went all the way up to Porlier and Webster Avenue, which is this intersection here that we'll be turning left at. And this is where they started taunting him and messing around with him when he was approached by 5 juveniles. These 5 juveniles approached Zong on his way home are 14-year-old Omer Ninham, 13-year-old Richard Crapo, 13-year-old Jeffrey P., 14-year-old Amanda G., and 14-year-old Kristen J. Omer Ninham and his group of friends did not know who Zong was, and he didn't know them either. By all counts, he did absolutely nothing. He didn't say anything. He did nothing to provoke the 5 teenagers. Richard Crapo was definitely the instigator. He was upset with his mother at the time, and Richard wanted to fight or see a fight. Upon seeing Zong at the intersection of Porlier and Webster Avenue, Richard then said to Omer, "Let's mess with this kid." Omer responded, "I got your back," meaning he would back him up in case there was a fight. Omer and Richard began verbally taunting Zong while the other 3 friends egged them on. Omer and Richard's assault escalated into physical attacks. Richard bumped into Zong's shoulder and yanked his bicycle away from him. Richard also grabbed Zong's grocery bag full of tomatoes and threw it towards the St. Vincent Hospital that was nearby. When Zong asked for his bike back, Omer punched Zong in the face, knocking him down. Zong got up. He started running towards the St. Vincent Hospital parking ramp. And he went this way, and he ended up going into this parking ramp here. I don't know if he took those stairs or maybe those stairs or what way he took, but this is the parking ramp. All 5 teens chased after Zong, catching up to him at the top of the ramp, which would have been the 5th floor. When they caught up to him, Richard punched Zong in the face, and Zong repeatedly asked them why they were trying to hurt him. He pleaded with them to leave him alone. Instead, Omer and Richard began pushing Zong back and forth between each other in a game that Jeffrey P. referred to as chicken. Omer also punched Zong in the chest as he pushed him back and forth. They chased him across the parking ramp on the 5th floor all the way over towards Eliza Street. Omer then pinned Zong by his wrist against a concrete wall on the parking ramp. While Zong squirmed to get out of Omer's grasp, Richard punched Zong in the face. According to Richard, Zong was crying and screaming, "Let me go." With Omer still hanging on to Zong by his wrist, Richard grabbed Zong's ankles. Omer and Richard then began swinging Zong back and forth out over the parking ramp's concrete wall, a drop that measured measured 45 feet to the ground. Zong was crying and screaming, begging Omer and Richard not to drop him. While swinging Zong over the wall, Richard let go of Zong's ankles and told Omer to drop him. Omer let go of Zong's wrist, and in Richard's words, Zong just sailed out over the wall. He landed on his back onto the paved driveway here. And they were swinging him from all the way up there on the 5th floor, just swinging them back and forth. Richard let go of his ankles, and as it must have happened really fast. He probably let go of his ankles and then told the other kid, oh, just let him go. And then he ended up falling. At about 8:03 p.m., bystander Stephen Healy was exiting the St. Vincent parking ramp when he heard what sounded like a bag of wet cement hitting the pavement. Zong landed on his back on the parking ramp's paved exit lane, about 12 feet from the base of the ramp. And this is where Steve Healy would have found him. But yeah, this is where he passed away. Rescue personnel were dispatched at 8:03 p.m. They detected a very faint heartbeat. Zong was then transported to the St. Vincent Hospital emergency room, where physicians were unable to revive him. An autopsy revealed that Zong suffered a blunt impact to his head and trunk and died from craniocerebral trauma due to the fall from the height he fell from. Omer and Richard and the rest of the gang never checked on him. Instead, they ran from the scene. The Green Bay police was able to focus their investigation on the 5 individuals after Jeffrey P. and Amanda G. told relatives and the police that they knew who was responsible for Zong's death. In his statement to police, Jeffrey P. described how Omer stood over for several seconds looking over the edge of the wall at Zong below. Omer then said to Jeffrey P., "Don't say nothing. Better not say shit." What makes this case so difficult is that there are a bunch of teenagers involved. They're juveniles, they're not adults. Richard and Omer were eventually tried as adults. Omer was sentenced to life in prison with no parole, and Richard was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole once he turns 50. Omer and Richard have both appealed their sentences, indicating that their sentence was cruel and unusual, considering the fact that they were not adults when this crime occurred. Well guys, that does it for this video. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and y'all stay safe. I'll see you next time. Peace out.